Hello, fourth grade. How are you doing? This is Miss B. I'm so excited to be reading a book for you today. I'm going to be reading one of my favorite Halloween books. So let's get started. The name of the book is A Halloween Scare in California, and it is written by Eric James. I hope you enjoy it. Prepare if you dare for a tale full of chills, a story of pure Californian thrills. A night filled with sights that are best left unseen. You ready? You sure? This was my Halloween. I wonder why he's so scared. The werewolves howled loudly, the moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom, the curtains shut tight. We can see some bats and some werewolves, scary. My heart started pounding, my knees felt so weak, but being a brave kid, I just had to peek. And it looks like here he is, being so brave and peeking. Would you dare to do that? I probably wouldn't. I pulled back the curtains, my mouth open wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and stumbled and lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. Emerging from sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. The more came along from all over the state. They filled up the streets at a dizzying rate. Look at all the monsters. There's a witch and her broom. From Bakersfield, Berkeley, and Monterey Park, the shadowy beasties emerged from the dark. I'm wondering if any monsters came from Southgate too. They gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. And here are the living. The human beings are so scared. Ah! The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed doggies tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. Here's the two-headed dog, banshees, the witch. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side while Frankenstein stomped about town with his bride. Here's Frankenstein. It says, just married in California. Let's see what happens next. A dinosaur munched on the Hollywood sign. The ghost went to Napa and drank all the wine. The undead took coffin lids out of their graves and used them to serve on the gnarliest waves. Have you ever seen the Hollywood sign? A robot from Silicon Valley computed that humans were buggy and should be rebooted. Then something went wrong with his energy pack. He had to retreat, but he said, I'll be back. What does that remind you of? The creepies were crawly, the crazies were craze, the zombies from Fresno had eyes that were glazed, the ogres from LA were ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chin. They're not that cute. The ghouls danced around but were lacking in soul. The gargoyles could rock and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought I'd be safe in my room. Uh-oh. What do we think's gonna happen next? But then something happened that made my heart jump. From somewhere below, I heard a big thump. What would you do? I would probably hide under the bed. I froze for a moment, as quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises from inside the house. I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe. I shook like a leaf, but I don't think it showed. Then slowly but surely, I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled wildly. I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horrors I saw. The stereo spat out some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped madly around. What is going on? What are they doing? How did they get inside the house? Let's find out. The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having their Halloween ball. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall. The hairiest, scariest monster of all. But he loves California. He turned round and saw me. I fell to my knees. I'm not very tasty, so don't eat me, please. He beamed ear to ear and broke free from the huddle, ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. What? He hugged him. I think he's a friendly monster. What do you think? At last, we have found you, he said with a smile. From Glendale to Redding, we've looked for a while. We came here to give you your wonderful prize. He held up a trophy in front of my eyes. A prize? I wonder what he won a prize for. What do you think? A prize? And for me? I replied with a grin. But what did I enter and how did I win? You've won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me and I'm tip-top at scaring. Huh. This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me. Exactly, the scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. Your teeth are so shiny you've only 10 toes. No hair on your face and no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. A bone-chilling costume, a horrible sight. A worthy ensemble for Halloween night. Looks like the monsters might be scared of the humans. I wonder why or how that happened. We partied together until the moon set. A Halloween night that I'll never forget. And next year, I won't want to hide in my bed. The monsters won't scare me. I'll scare them instead. Okay, that is the end of our book. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I love it. And don't forget to complete your exit ticket in your Google Classroom. Till next time, bye.